perfect timing. It's like that old Skrillex song from Black Ops 2. It's the perfect timing because I had just published this video on YouTube. The Canucks, Habs, and Flames lose out on players to Rick Tocchet and the Philadelphia Flyers, and we now have ourselves some word as to the numbers. Because the Montreal Canadiens have signed goaltender Kaapo Kahkonen to a 1-year, $1.15 million deal. This video doesn't need to be too long. But Kaapo Kahkonen, we already heard word that the Habs were signing this guy about 20 minutes ago from Frank Saravalli. It's just, at this point, the numbers weren't revealed to us. Now, they officially are. Kaapo Kahkonen, long-lost cousin to former top pick in the 2019 draft, Jack Hughes, is a 28-year-old goaltender. No, I'm joking about that, by the way. I was making a joke about how Kaapo Kahkonen sounds like Kaapo Kahko, but instead of saying Kaapo Kahko, we subverted your expectations with Jack Hughes. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. I'm trying to be funny, and I'm sleep-deprived. Kaapo Kahkonen is 28 years old. 6'2", 216, left-handed catching goaltender, initially a 4th-round pick by the Minnesota Wild back in 2014. Now, Kahkonen had a really interesting development path with the Wild, where there was a time where he was kind of bubbling as a potential starter down the road. He developed in Finland and then inevitably took his hockey over to the Iowa Wild. He was good there, had a few good stints with Minnesota. I mean, a .910 save percentage in 25 games. That's really strong. Then he got sent over to San Jose and then had a .916 over there. Tanked immediately, .883 save percentage the year after in 22-23, then an .895, which prompted a trade over to New Jersey. He was at a .923 save percentage over there, which is really strong, before he found himself in the Colorado system. 1 game played with the Avalanche this recent season, an .800 save percentage. Colorado was rotating goalies around all season, but Kaapo Kahkonen is a guy who can play really hot, he can play really cold. I just kind of wonder, yeah, he got traded, right? This was how he was sent over to New Jersey, and then he was claimed off of waivers by Winnipeg. That's right. He had signed with the Jets, then he got waived, then he was in Florida's system, and then he got claimed again. Something like that, yeah, he got claimed off of waivers twice by Colorado and Winnipeg. Right, that's what happened this season. Yeah, you see all these storylines in the NHL kind of just become a mess when you think about them. But Kaapo Kahkonen, I actually did watch a bit of this guy in the AHL because the Charlotte Checkers made themselves a path to the AHL's Calder Cup Finals against my Abbotsford Canucks. And unfortunately, even though Kaapo Kahkonen had a .906 save percentage, which is reasonably good, he did get outdueled. He got outdueled by Artur Shilovs in the Abbotsford Canucks system. Kaapo Kahkonen had an .867 save percentage in Game 1, .846 in Game 2, .821 in Game 3, .870 in Game 4, .906 in Game 5, and then an .850 in Game number 6. He did not have good goaltending in this stretch of games, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the game dynamics were the way that they were. Artur Shilovs and the Abbey Canucks were leaking shots like crazy. But nah, the Abbey Canucks were leaking shots like crazy. Artur Shilovs was saving all of them. Kaapo Kahkonen got scored on the few opportunities that he was thrown against and did not end up coming out with the victory. Now, he had some really good save percentage numbers in the earlier series against the Providence Bruins. There's a shutout there against the Hershey Bears, 9-4-4. Against Laval, Kaapo Kahkonen totally torched the Rocket, 9-6-8, 9-20, 9-5-7, 9-2-0. I guess this stint might be what prompted Kent Hughes to sign the guy. Like, damn, our AHL team got absolutely cooked by this Kaapo Kahkonen guy. So we got to sign him now for our team, and he can be the number 3 here. So that seems to be the situation there, even though Kaapo Kahkonen did not win the goaltending battle in the finals against Artur Shilovs. So now, heading over to the Montreal Canadiens, it's going to be interesting to see the Habs and their own depth chart taking a look at the goaltending situation in Montreal. Of course, we understand that the goaltenders for the Habs are already set. There is Sami Montembeault, and there is that Jakub Dobeš, I guess you could say. Kaapo Kahkonen is probably going to be an AHL guy with Jacob Fowler, and then the Habs will continue on from there. If they find confidence in Kaapo Kahkonen, then I guess that's where they're going to go, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Montreal Canadiens signing Kaapo Kahkonen to a 1-year, $1.15 million deal. Because it's $1.15 million, it is one way, so he's going to be making this amount of money whether he is in the NHL or the AHL. I do kind of question if the Canadiens are more prompted to using him in the NHL because he's got that $115 million contract. I mean, Jakub Dobeš was good enough to be an NHL backup, so I do think that it's not unreasonable to keep him there. But if they wanted to give him another year in Laval, I think that's also fine too. I don't know. I just think that Dobeš, for what he is a capable backup now, and having him with Montembeault is a good developmental strategy. But because Kaapo Kahkonen is making 115, I wouldn't be surprised if the Habs just decided to have him as the backup. I don't know. Either that or a 3-goalie rotation with Fowler as the main dude in Laval. Who knows what options the Canadiens have, but for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Kaapo Kahkonen and his contract. I hope you enjoyed this video. And hey, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. All good just a minute ago, the Montreal Canadiens have made another signing. Sammy Blais gets a 1-year, $775,000 contract. Okay, that's interesting. That is really, really interesting. So I actually do think that this is reasonable for the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, sorry, we were going to end this video talking about Kaapo Kahkonen, and I totally did not see that Sammy Blais got a one-way deal, with the Montreal Canadiens. But this is a pretty fine contract signing, and I think Canadiens fans are going to like it too. So Sammy Blais, 29 years old, from Quebec, so he is a hometown guy, 6'2", 205 left-handed player. Also relevant to my Abbotsford Canucks, because this season he had 19 points in 23 games as Sammy Blais beat Kaapo Kahkonen in the AHL's Calder Cup Finals. He also had 40 points in 51 games with the Abby Canucks in the regular season. Now, I know what Canadiens fans are going to be doing when they see Sammy Blais and the contract that they had signed him to. Hey, this guy had 20 points in 31 games with the Blues in 2022-2023. Yeah, that is absolutely the case. It is so weird how he went from 5 points in 40 games to 20 points in 31. He quadrupled the point production in 3/4 the amount of games. It was crazy. Like, how is that even possible for a guy? But Sammy Blais is a player who plays an absolute gritty, hard-styled game. It's a very fun game to watch. He's physical. He loves to hit guys. He is very good at producing at the AHL level. The only problem is, in Vancouver, despite the fact that he was impressive in training camp, the problem is, and why he didn't make the Vancouver Canucks, is because of his conditioning. It was already reported on Vancouver radio earlier last week that even though the Vancouver Canucks liked Blais and they wanted to sign Blais, they needed to get confirmation that he would be faster, that he would be more well-conditioned, that he would be working out harder in the offseason. Because even throughout the Calder Cup playoffs, this was an issue here. He wouldn't notice it based off of the point production. He was a very capable point producer. He was getting penalty minutes. He was getting into the thick of it in the fight, but there was a concern about conditioning, which is why the Vancouver Canucks did not end up deciding to sign him. He ends up getting his one-way contract in Montreal, so those issues, who knows if there are going to be issues where he's playing for his hometown team, but you know, it was brought up on the Canucks radio, Sportsnet 650 last week by Rick Dhaliwal that Blais and his conditioning was an issue for Vancouver, which is probably why he was not able to get that contract here in Van. But now he'll be joining the goaltender that he had just defeated in the Calder Cup Finals in Kaapo Kahkonen. So yeah, I had to do a quick little detour on this video to add the extra info. Now, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this contract signing? If Sammy Blais is a bottom six center in Montreal, I actually don't think that's too bad of a deal. I think he'll fit in just fine, and alongside of guys like Zach Bolduc, for example, former Blues tearing it up together as Bash Bros, I think that's a really good combination. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Sammy Blais getting his contract. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.